What's up, gamers, miners, dwarves, friends, and crewmates of the Ghost Ship? You are tuned in to the Thursday Ghost Ship Games dev stream today. You are joined by myself, GST Aaron, GST Jakob, and a very special guest who I will introduce in just one short second. The keen-eyed gamers among you may notice on your screen that in fact what we've got on screen is not Deep Rock Galactic, but in fact another very important game in Dwarven gaming heritage, and that is indeed Dwarf Fortress. Now, folks, we've picked today to join together with our friends over at Kitfox to stream Dwarf Fortress because Kitfox, in fact, brought up a very important issue last week, and that is the egregious lack of dwarf tags on Steam. Here to talk a little bit more about that, and of course to join us for today's stream and show us how the hell Dwarf Fortress works, is community manager at Kitfox, Alexandra. Thank you so much for joining us, Alexandra.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here and so glad that I can join y'all to talk about this very serious problem that's going on at Steam. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know if you guys noticed that they just added a boomer shooter tag. So they're adding tags for boomer shooters, which I would argue is completely unnecessary considering they have an old school and shooter tag separately. But that's besides the point. But yes, we're going to be playing some Dwarf Fortress. I'm going to teach you how to play. We're going to go through the tutorial a little bit, and we're going to just talk about dwarves and things.
We're discussing dwarves. We're discussing all they can be, all they have done, the achievements of the dwarven people, and our ambitions and our hopes for dwarves around the world. And I think it's safe to say that it's already shaping up to be one of the biggest world issues of 2024 is the lack of a dwarf tag on Steam. Currently, you have to do all sorts of searching. You have to go on DwarfNet and talk to local dwarf enthusiasts. You have to DM Dwarf Furious. You have to figure out all sorts of issues to figure out if you want to only play dwarven games. But we're here. We're joining forces to make it happen in 2024.
I think we can do it. I know that we are going to appeal to Steam. I think between the two of us, we have at least enough beard power. I know other devs have made whispers in the comments and DMs about hey, I don't know what's going on here, but we make a dwarf game too, and we need all the help we can get because clearly, if people want to find games that are have dwarves in them and have a dwarf focus, then there's just no way of doing that.
That's right. And as Dwarf Fortress and Deep Rock Galactic, I might humbly propose that we are some of the dwarven games that stand tallest within the dwarven gaming community, which of course standing tall here means about 3 foot 6 inches. But we'll take what we can get, and we're here to broaden everyone's horizons on what dwarven gaming can be. So Jakob, maybe as the one piloting the EVA today, the dwarven EVA, what are we looking at? Where are we starting out? And Alexandra, where do we go from here?
Well, we just generated the entire world in the very, very first game I've played in years. And yeah, this is basically the starting point of what's going to be hopefully the greatest ever.
Yeah, so this is our little flavor text, and it's always the same. This sets the scene for Dwarf Fortress. The only thing that's different, of course, is the procedurally generated name of your world, which is Zulbansish Bannerfang.
It's a good name.
So that's our fort name basically. That's our community.
I could not have picked a better name myself.
So basically what we have here is our caravan. If you hit OK, you can see them because they're kind of covered by the text.
I see a dog. Oh yeah, right. So yeah, we're also doing the tutorial, so I'll just have to see. I can move it around. Yeah, I'm capable of that. I can zoom out. Oh, wow. Now we're high up. I can go back down.
Yeah, you can zoom out a lot, and when you zoom out, it's going up and down the layers of elevation and not the actual zooming in and zooming out, which you can also do with the up, plus and minus buttons next to the mini-map in the top right corner of your screen.
All right.
They may not let you do that because you're stuck in tutorial mode, which is fine. We're going to do things the way Tarn wanted us to do them.
Is Tarn a developer or a dwarven god?
Kind of both.
Okay.
Tarn is the creator of Dwarf Fortress along with his brother Zach. They're the Adams brothers. But okay. Yeah, no. The god is Armok.
Armok, who is not one of the brothers.
Not one of the brothers, not related to the Adams. Armok Adams is maybe a thing of the fans. Oh my goodness, you got the staircases already. That's always the trickiest part for folks, because you gotta like click and then scroll and then click and scroll sort of situation.
So for somebody who is tuning in and may know Deep Rock Galactic but does not know Dwarf Fortress, how do you explain Dwarf Fortress to somebody who perhaps recently woke up out of a coma or has just simply never heard of the game?
Yeah, and there's lots of people that have it for sure. So Dwarf Fortress is a very old game. It started out in 20 years ago now.
What?
Dwarf Fortress is very old. And so it's an old PC game that not that old, but it's in all ASCII art, so it's hard to read, hard to figure out. But essentially, it's just a game about survival and building a fort, and a lot of games have been inspired by Dwarf Fortress. So you're almost like working backwards in history. So like Minecraft, for example, was based off of this. So
Really?
all the games we know and love today are come from this. Anything that has the digging, the crafting, a lot of the building stuff does actually come from Dwarf Fortress. So, you're digging. You never know what you're going to find. The game is procedurally generated, which basically means that it's kind of randomized. You never know exactly what you're going to see, what your dwarves are like, what animals are around. You don't even really control the dwarves, right? Like, so when you're mapping out for mining, a dwarf who is able to mine will do the job. You're not controlling it, but
So you're telling the dwarves what to do and where to go, or
right.
Okay, so you're sort of mission control.
Exactly, your mission control, and they act on their own depending on what their skills are. So let's just see for a sec why they're not mining.
Yeah, I'm already stuck.
Are we paused?
No, I think maybe I did something. I have to delete this, I think. But how do I do that? I would be a terrible dwarf.
So as somebody like myself who has an IQ in the low 40s, for reading like a game like this, I think I don't. I need a little help understanding like what to focus on if I'm understanding the screen for the first time and I'm used to playing say shooters or something with a more like simple interface. What are the key bits to look out for here to sort of understand what's going on? If you like on the instrument panel here.
Oh, at the bottom. So actually, they do a good job of highlighting the tool you have to use. Well, maybe not such a good job. It's the pickaxe there.
Yeah.
But what's really nice is in the new version, we've added hovers for basically every button. So if you don't know what a button does, you can just hover your mouse over it and it'll tell you. What you're going to want to do here is use the eraser tool, which is the tool that's...
Maybe the tutorials is sort of blocking me. Maybe
there
I
it is.
painted myself into a corner.
So that little eraser button there is going to be what you use to like get rid of that mining request.
Yeah, not really doing anything. Someone suggests that I actually go and make the stairs somewhere else. But maybe I'm actually blocked by the...
I think with the eraser tool, you actually have to use it to drag over the spot. You don't just like click it and it cancels.
Yes.
My friends from back home have been in a big Dwarf Fortress phase, and they were saying that stairs were one of their biggest challenges, and that they've mostly gone for ramps so far because it avoids the critical question of how stairs work.
Yeah, I'm abandoning my old entrance. I'm going into a new.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you got the dwarf going in because you got the stairs. So
yeah, that's my stairs of shame.
They're secret stairs.
Of pride. Yeah, it'll be a layer later. Okay, now they're going.
The stairs are quite difficult for sure. We boothed at Gamescom, and we actually had a playable booth with Dwarf Fortress, which was wild to see. The average person just sitting down and being like, where do I even begin? Some people just really liked, just screwing around and things like that, but... All right, yeah, so what you're going to want to do is you want to make those rooms, like, real big. You need a lot of space to put stuff. So don't be afraid to like drag over. Be careful though, because you're very close to the water there. So you don't want to dig into that, or else you'll flood your entire room.
Oh man.
Which maybe you want to. Maybe there's a reason why. But maybe in the
Pool in
early
there.
stages not.
That sounds like a challenge I'm not ready for just yet. It'll probably happen.
Dwarves do not swim. That's for sure. I don't know if they swim in Deep Rock Galactic, but they do not swim in this game. They don't fare well.
Well, there's no water in Deep Rock, so that was our convenient way of avoiding the question of whether dwarves swim or not. So
they get even bothered when it starts raining.
okay.
And that's someone described the like limb system in this game as like a very complicated VATS from Fallout,
Okay.
except like it's not just the limbs, it's like each individual eyelid. So like when a
What?
dwarf goes out to rain and you see their like body status, it'll be like their eyelids are doused with water. Their left arm is doused with water, and you'll
Are you
just see
kidding
it
me?
like yeah.
She's not. I mean, it's
Because that all can be
ridiculous.
affected in combat, right? Like in combat, like a dwarf could lose an eye or a nose or even a mouth.
Or an eyelid.
Or an eyelid or anything, right? So it's all simulated.
Are you able to like talk? I mean, for like that to me is an astounding amount of that is a Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind level of planning for a combat system like that. Can you talk a little bit about more where like the idea for building up a system like that came from?
Oh, yeah, that would be probably a question for Tarn, but based on like what I know of what he said, it's literally comes down to just the system he created, because it's the engine used in Dwarf Fortress is completely unique and handcrafted by Tarn. So everything in the world is simulated, and it goes right down to the very details. Why he chose to like go that accurate, I'm not sure, but for combat it makes sense to me, because like for example, in adventure mode, there's going to be a wrestling system and a grappling system.
Okay.
So you have to be able to like simulate each limb to be able to like pull off these sort of things. So I think that's literally why. It's just the in-depth nature of how this game works. It's almost like a tool in a sense.
That's awesome. Somebody in Twitch, Entrafist, asks Ghost Ship Games, can you put in the title who the guest is? Yeah, we can.
Already did it.
Oh, we already did it.
While I was murdering some trees.
Wow.
But for anyone tuning in, our guest today is Alexandra, who is the community manager from Kitfox, who are the Steam publishers of Dwarf Fortress. She's here to help us figure out how to play Dwarf Fortress, and again, for those of you who missed the introduction, to talk about one of the most pressing issues in I would venture to say modern day society, which is the lack of a dwarf tag on Steam.
I'm actually
very serious issue.
I played this like for the first time, I think maybe 14 or 15 years ago, and so you're not just the publisher, right? You've also been doing some I don't know, streamlining of what would you call it of the Steam version, right? Making it a bit more approachable.
Yeah, so basically the setup that we have between Bay 12, which is the developers of Dwarf Fortress, and Kitfox, is that we kind of handle all the boring stuff and the stressful stuff, so that Tarn and Zach can focus completely on making the game. So we do all like the marketing and like the biz dev stuff, but part of that was also just looking for people in the community that could work with us, because it requires such a specialized knowledge to be able to work on Dwarf Fortress that we really need like people within the community already. We're kind of like the ideal people to help us. So we searched in the community for artists, and actually one programmer, which is quite a feat considering that the code is kind of very protected by Tarn. So it had to be someone that was completely trusted and understood the process. So we've actually expanded the team to be to 3 programmers now, which is kind of unheard of or unthinkable before.
So it's the 2 original brothers plus a secret third guy, or
A
person?
secret third woman, actually,
pardon
Putnam. But yeah, she knows the game very well. She already knows how the code works because modders and things like that. They get a little bit more intimate with how the game works in that regard.
Yeah.
So it was the easy choice. But along with that, just like it really a lot of the accessibility came down to the art, right? Because every little ASCII symbol had to be converted into a pixel art. So every little thing you see, like every plant, actually there's like multiple forms of the plants as well, had to be drawn by artists, and that just takes forever. It really does.
Yeah.
It's just an intense labor process that definitely would not be able to be done by just the two brothers.
So Kitfox basically helped, coordinate the effort of making Dwarf Fortress from this insanely complex esoteric game to a very marginally less esoteric complex game that several more Mensa members can play.
Exactly, right? Like we had to like build the team, so to speak, the like Avengers of Dwarf Fortress to be able to like pull it off. Because it took 20 years to get up to this point, and we've had 20 years of development just for like the programming side of things. The UI is another thing that had to be completely redone as well, and even things like mouse controls we didn't have in the game before. So all these things, although the game is still complicated, it was much harder before. Much harder. Are we looking at our little mama's tower wreather here?
Yeah, I felt that it was like a good example on like the detail, the level of detail on.
Oh
This is
yes.
just the overview, but
What are we looking
This
at?
is just the basic profile of a single dwarf. So you can see there's like a little history at the bottom of how they're feeling. You can see how annoyed she was that she was in the rain, like I was saying before. So these are things that she's encountered in the game. But if you go over to something like personality, that's a procedurally generated sort of complete bio of this person, this miner.
What? So each
Um,
individual dwarf in the game has like a life story that you can read.
They have a life story. They have a family tree, which you can look up in Legends mode. Yeah, so you can see there's their friends. They have a bunch of different friends. The deity they worship is Agesh Alo Kutung. Um,
How on earth was this programmed?
I don't know. Like this is the thing. It's kind of magic, right? Madness even. So yeah, she's she hates vows, obligations, and promises to other binding elements that could restrict her life.
She has an
And this
insecure attachment style. A lot of people deal with that.
she needs alcohol to get through the working day, as we all do.
Very dwarven.
Yes, and the dwarves do drink alcohol as their like main source of nutrition in this game. Water is okay, but they need a good alcohol to get them through, or else
And-
they'll die.
And it's things like that that brings dwarves together.
Right. It's exactly it's the lore, it's the consistency, it's the understanding that the dwarven lifestyle is a very specific thing.
And it's not for everyone, but for little guys like us, oh boy, is it for us.
Is it for us?
Alexander, we have Entrofist in Twitch has a question. It says, speaking of the detail in this game, I really hope Alexander will tell the story of the bug where dead cats would pile up in pubs.
Oh, that's a
something-
classic tale.
Might you regale us with this tale?
Yeah. I'm not as good as telling it as Tarn does, because there is a famous video of him telling the tale. But
Okay.
essentially, what happened is that there was a bug that I don't remember what the bug specifically did, but it caused the cats to be able to, when they walked through liquor, they would have the liquor attached to their paws. And so they would kind of carry the liquor throughout the fort if they were walking around it. And obviously, if they would, I think the bug might have been like the cats go to the tavern, in which they do. You'll see the cats kind of run around all over your fort. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
And they'll actually kill vermin for you. So if you actually, you can pasteurize or like pen off the cat in your stockpile, for example, and it'll catch those vermin for you so it won't eat at your food and things like that. So cats are actually very useful. And also dwarves just like them as pets. Dwarves will adopt any animal as a pet. if they like them enough. But the cats are dragging the alcohol through the with their paws, and I believe caused an explosion literally because of the alcohol mixing with fire and things like that. So it became an issue, and the cats got drunk. I think was also part of it. Drunk cats. So it was just chaos, and things like that happen all the time. And you know, they're either fixed or they're not. Some bugs have been kept in the game willingly. For
We know that
example,
one.
animals have personalities, and they're not normally supposed to. But when we found that out, Tarn just decided to keep that in because it's funny to read a personality of a cat or things like that.
So what's your contact with the now the three developers, like on a daily or weekly basis? Do you do check-ins, or is it how's that work between Kitfox and the original team?
Oh yeah, we're checking in almost every day, really, with just like because things are always happening. Adventure mode is in full swing and production and things like that. So yeah, we check in a lot. Sometimes it's just small things or just saying hi. But we have a really good relationship with the Adams brothers.
Yeah.
Tanya actually co-authored a book with Tarn on procedural generation in games, so they have
Cool.
a history already. They're good friends, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just want to take a second to address. We've got a number of people asking in the chat, asking about what is the relationship between dwarves and gnomes. I'll take my first stab at it, but I would very like to welcome both community input as well as Alexandra and Jakob. I should preface this by saying I'm no lore expert, but my always thought was that they were like cousins that got along. Like, I don't know if they live in the same area or if they're, in the like conventional lore the same race, but I always feel like they've been homies. Like, there's sort of an understanding of we're little guys and little guys stick together, which after all is sort of the whole point of a stream like this. I don't know, that's my take. How do y'all feel about it?
Well, in Dwarf Fortress, we actually do have gnomes represented as well, and but they're like a little. So my answer normally would not be the Dwarf Fortress answer, but in Dwarf Fortress, they are similar to dwarves, but they're I think they would be considered lesser because they do not communicate verbally.
Really?
And that's why they're sort of like scattered throughout the world. They don't have they're not civilized like dwarves who have communities and things like that.
Okay.
And so they will they won't necessarily hurt the dwarves, but they may steal some of their alcohol. They just kind of like pests a little bit. But in my mind, when I think of gnomes, and maybe that's just because like it's the modern day, I think of them as like a little silly, like a little like unserious, unbothered version of dwarves. Like dwarves like to work
Yeah.
and they like to toil and things like that, but gnomes kind of just like hang out.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why like they don't get along in the game.
They've got a rascal gene that I think most dwarves don't have. I
Right.
guess I think actually I would argue that in the grand canon of dwarven interpretation, I would say maybe the deep rock dwarves have a good bit of rascal energy to them. I mean, I think there's obviously the work ethic, but I think it's more that they're just being ruthlessly exploited by the Deep Rock Galactic Corporation. But I do like that distinction of there's the rascal energy of the gnomes are not an industrious folk, where I think anyone that's met a dwarf would understand that a dwarf is a deeply industrious person.
I think that's the biggest distinction. Like what you see them, the gnomes, they're either in the garden or, I don't know.
Which on
I don't
that
know what they
level,
do.
I feel like I can relate to the gnomes on that one. If I have a choice between being in the mines or hanging out in the garden, I'm gonna pick hanging out in the garden all the time. But that's just me.
For sure. I mean, like it's a curse. It's the dwarves live in the extremes of work and partying and all that, and so it's a little too much for some people. I think it's an intense lifestyle.
There's sort of if we're gonna reference this with Top Gun, which is usually how I understand the world, I feel like gnomes are sort of more like Goose, and the dwarves are sort of more like Maverick. Except for I don't think gnomes are as often getting killed by the canopy failing during an ejection seat mechanism. But anyway.
Yeah, I wonder too if there's a place for gnomes even in the world of Deep Rock, because the gnomes here are kind of like they're like I said before, they're out on the outskirts, but like I don't think they would even like fit. How would they?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say in the greater movement of Dwarves Unite, I think we're welcoming a true solidarity among little guys. Means welcoming gnomes into the movement. So if you're feeling gnome pilled lately, but you understand the value of little guys sticking together, you're very welcome. The Dwarves Unite together, and we welcome every every strong arm in this push to get Dwarves ratified as a Steam category.
I don't know if we can do the same for the gnomes. I don't think they have that presence on Steam yet to get their own tag. But if they
Yeah.
want to join us in our adventure and our cause, then we would appreciate that.
They can piggyback. I know a
Yeah.
guy at Power Wash Simulator who's using gnomes for their logo.
Oh yes, that's right. Power Wash has the gnome.
We've got a few people in YouTube asking, what is the Steep Rock Galactic update, and is this a crossover episode? The answer to that is this is indeed a crossover episode. If you are just tuning in, first of all, welcome to the GSG Thursday Dev Stream. Second of all, you are watching Dwarf Fortress, which is the original, dare I say it, dwarf game. And we're joining forces in 2024 to rally Steam, to rally forces, and to push Steam, the game distribution platform, to put dwarves as a category for their games, because you know what, little guys like us deserve it.
It's one of those things. Oh, sorry, are we stuck here?
No, I'm just
Oh.
I think I'm getting them to get plants, which I hope I can turn into something drinkable at my still.
That is correct.
Yeah, what's as somebody who last tried Dwarf Fortress 10 years ago, what's going through your mind? What are you seeing? What are you thinking? What are you engaging with?
I'm just glad I don't have to watch like 10 hours of YouTube tutorials before I dive into this. I remember also having trouble with like back then I used there was like a custom tile set, getting that to work because like the game would run in one window. I think the custom tile set was sort of in another window on top of that, so you had to. There was no mouse support. I think I think the mouse support is probably the biggest technological breakthrough of besides the graphics and the.
It really is a technological advancement, that mouse support. You see it a lot in modern games, but boy howdy, is it a revolution for Dwarf Fortress.
Gamers everywhere are flocking to use of the mouse, and I'm glad that we can all get on board with it now. Alexandra, I have a question as somebody who, in my personal life as a gamer, am fairly bad at games with, or sticking with games with a steep learning curve. I've been scared away by many a game when I was forced to confront the fact that my brain simply is not that powerful. What is, like, when you talk to people that have stuck it out with Dwarf Fortress and given themselves a time to make mistakes and work through the discomfort of the unfamiliar and learn the ropes, what do people say about, like, what keeps them playing? What's the most, like, rewarding experience of getting into Dwarf Fortress?
I definitely think there are sort of advanced level Dwarf Fortress things that most people don't do because they don't know how to do it, or it's just like end game stuff or whatnot. But there's definitely a few routes people go if they've been playing Dwarf Fortress for a long time. One of them is definitely like the complexities, right? You can do things, fancy things with aquifers and minecart systems and things like that aren't really necessary for your dwarf survival, but creates bigger efficiencies. And so I think that's an appealing thing for folks. Even just seeing how long you can keep a fort going is sometimes a challenge. Some people will brag that they've had a fort going for like 100 years, in-game years, of course.
Yeah,
not
okay.
in I would like to see the real life 100-year fort, but I don't think we'll ever get there. So
One
yeah,
day.
that is one of them. Some people like to create art with their forts and their designs. There is a few creators. One, the most famous, is Cupo. I think it's Queepo, and they literally just create art in Dwarf Fortress. So
Cool.
imagine like a design, like a spiraling design, just using like the tools in Dwarf Fortress, and it becomes like this living piece of art in a sense. So some people do that, and then others like to teach. A lot of people just love to teach other people. Like they'll stream, they want to teach people how to play. They get their community involved by like naming their dwarves after chat members and things like that, and just seeing like how they fare. There's many different ways. Like I said before, it's almost like a tool, right? So like there's so many different ways you can do it. Even like using the Legends mode to create a world for RPGs is a thing people do.
What is the Legends mode? I've referenced that a number of times. Is it a new feature in Dwarf Fortress?
It's not new, but it's sort of it's been redone for Steam, and essentially it's just a Wikipedia, a living Wikipedia for your world. So we could go and create a world and go into Legends mode, and it just gives you like a long-running history of that world. So how it started, what were the old gods, and they're usually like forbidden beasts and things like that. And then like who were the first dwarves? What did they do? Who were their families? And so you can actually go in and like click on all these things and see like like I said, it's basically a Wikipedia, and it's different every time. So if you procedurally generate a world one time, your Legends mode will be specific to that world.
Cool.
And it really sort of opens up with adventure mode, because that's where you can retire the fort and then play it like an RPG. So you could read in Legends mode about your world and how there was an ancient dwarf that crafted a ring like 20 years ago, and you know exactly where it is because you can click on it in the Legends mode, and then so you can go in adventure mode and like find that ring based on that knowledge of you scrubbing through this extensive wiki essentially.
Okay, cool.
Aaron, just another like detail thing. Check this out. These are
Yeah.
cherry flowers from the cherry tree that's just like falling down all over.
So those tan circles are the trunk of the tree.
Yeah.
And then the flowers. Cool. So you're scrolling out, and we're seeing sort of slices of the tree from the top down. The branches now going out of the root.
You would think it's a 2D game, but it's so layered. I mean,
it's like 3D, but you're looking directly down the y-axis.
Yeah, it's been dissected and flattened.
Have fans made like 3D mods for this game?
I would say probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I've seen that. A lot of people ask.
I remember some of the tile sets being sort of like isometric 2D, so it seemed like from an angle from the top, but I still think you only get like the layer you're like on. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anything that sophisticated, although I would argue that a 3D mod of Dwarf Fortress is just Minecraft, but we're not.
The mainstream media isn't ready for that discussion. I've got, actually, speaking of vegetation, a critical question from Tom on YouTube, our brave YouTube moderator. Thank you, Tom. Tom asks, are there mushrooms in the game? That's the real question.
Oh boy, howdy.
I tried to find they're not outside, are they?
You'd have to dig a little bit deeper to get to that fungus stuff. But yeah, definitely if you keep digging down, you'll start hitting the caverns. And when you hit the caverns, then that's when you get the fun stuff, and you get the mushrooms, and there may be some little creatures running around down there that might come up.
Is the game real time?
What was that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's
Did you get an alert there on your left, maybe? One of those.
Expedition leader Odom Ferdran and the metal crafter Bimbul Kinonul have married. I think we missed it. Can we go see it?
We can click on that. If you click on that little button on the right there that has the arrow and the X, it'll take you to where. Actually, sorry, that's the.
I like how the other big event was a dog that grew up.
That's a big event.
Animal.
Yeah, I mean it is, but
it's certainly a big event for the dog. I would say.
Okay, where are the happy couple? They here somewhere.
If you go
that
down to
guy.
the bottom... Oh, you found him?
Yeah, he's married.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, the expedition leader.
But he was annoyed at the lack of chairs. That's bad planning.
I get that. So far I'm finding all these dwarves to be pretty relatable.
He also he was annoyed after having a drink without using a goblet, cup, or mug. I think maybe he asked the wrong idea of like the wedding.
Yeah, if
That's
you
his
don't
spouse.
make the cups, that they'll just slop it up in their mouth without any
love that.
cups. Which is, I
What are
was
you
cried on by an unhappy citizen. I feel empathy. So someone from his party leader was sad, and he felt sad about that.
Wow. These dwarves are incredible people. What depth?
What depth? He felt love while getting married. Well, I would hope so.
Apparently his need for eating good meals wasn't met at the wedding. I'm kind of sad now. I should have done better. I didn't even make cups. How do I make cups? I need to make some cups.
Everything these dwarves do brings me closer to them.
Must be the carpenter.
Yeah, you can make the cups out of either stone or wood.
Can they drink from buckets?
I do not believe so.
Oh man. Casket, cage, cabinet, buckler.
You can also search in the top if you don't want to scroll and look for it.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe the carpenter doesn't make the cups. Maybe I need to.
That's the part that gets me, because there's so many different names for things. So like there's goblets and there's all this and that, and you don't know who makes it.
I'm thinking a jeweler.
Okay.
Make a cup, fancy cup that's worthy of the wets.
Yeah, Alexander, we've got some folks in the chat asking the hard-hitting questions, and that is, can you rock and stone in Dwarf Fortress?
Oh, definitely. You can actually make rock and stone stockpiles and just have a whole area of just rock and stone.
Wow. A whole world of rock and stone. Do you hear that, folks? Can you imagine
that?
Can you imagine a sweeter sight than miles upon miles of rock and stone as far as the eye can see? Actually,
Speaking of stone, do we have a stone crafter?
My guess is
stone
no.
worker, actually.
My guess is no. Stone cutter.
Yeah, we have one, but we need to build a stone cutter's station.
Okay.
Alexandra, I have a gameplay tech question that I'm asking on behalf of my friend Brett, who is struggling with the mechanics of Dwarf Fortress. And Brett was having a lot of trouble with resource management, namely what to do with all of his excess rock. And he was trying to build several landfills, but generally was getting stuck in just having like a room in his cavern absolutely chock full of rock with he wasn't sure where to put it. Because there's something about the resources like not disappearing over time, and you have to kind of
do like
waste.
Stay there.
So you have to do like waste management as well.
Right, and there's different ways you can go about it. I know a lot of people like to just use refuse piles for just like garbage and things like that. But with rock, or sometimes people make a pit. They throw it down the pit. They use mine carts to sort of like transport the rock and things like that. But inevitably, you're always going to be left with things kind of like strewn about, unless you have a lot of stockpiles. But that's also something that I think just comes with just practice, right? Like you just have to be making stockpiles constantly to just have sorting, and you can just make one just for the stone, and then it all just gets sorted into one place.
So maybe it's sort of like if people have played Valheim, sort of like how you manage your resources there.
I'm not super familiar with Valheim, actually.
Okay.
Wow, this is some family tree. Holy crap.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of family members, lots of uncles and aunts.
I wanted to see, because in the overview it said that they had 2 lovers, and I was hoping.
Yes, that is possible.
Dwarven drama, but I can't really.
It is. There is polyamory in the game for sure.
Wow.
That's just how it goes sometimes, you end up with 2 wives or 2 husbands, and that's just the way of it.
Yeah.
And their quote is be happy, and that's it. So they must be doing a great job.
Damn, we got a live, laugh, love ass dwarf up in here.
Right. 38 years old, female,
absolutely
wine
no
drinker.
thoughts at all.
No thoughts at all.
Just running on autopilot. It's fine.
You could spend forever just reading all those little things, and then some people do. They like to read.
It's sort of like a choose your own adventure book.
Totally. Except a lot of the choices are done by the computer.
Aha!
Yeah.
Wooden cup.
Wooden cup.
Huge,
Yeah.
huge moment for Jakob.
You could probably make a few of those,
yeah,
maybe 10 or.
Can I add an amount or what's?
You can.
Or
You can
should
do repeating task 10 times. You
how
have
do
it
I-
repeating there.
Yeah, how do I set the amounts for it? Oh, well, we'll just let them go at it.
Alexandra, I have another question concerning the unofficial mantra of Dwarf Fortress of losing is fun. How do you lose in Dwarf Fortress?
Oh, there's so many ways. Well, I mean, the losing state would be that like your dwarves die, like you have no more
All of them.
dwarves in your population. Which you can see you have 15 of them. So, but and often that another thing is usually like you may not have all your dwarves die, but there's kind of like a point where there's no point in continuing. Like if you're completely flooded, or like your fort is completely destroyed and you kind of have to start all over again anyways. But sometimes that's expected and sometimes it's not, right? Like sometimes you hit a wall and then your fort gets flooded, or Crundles come up from under the ground and attack, or a forgotten beast shows up, or you get raided by elves because you've been chopping down too many trees, or like there's so many things, right? But the lose state, would be that you lose all your dwarves. And in adventure mode, you can retire the fort and actually continue on with another character, and then visit your fort and like see all your dead dwarves and things like that, I guess.
Who's murdering all these turtles?
That would be your fisher dwarf.
Oh,
I think the guy there with the beard and the top knot.
And a lizard and a dragonfly up here, another lizard over here. He's just going ham. Turtle.
But also the cats may be killing some of those things as well.
Yeah,
like the cats will.
How do I see?
But yeah, those turtles look.
Cats.
How do you see the cats?
That's my cat supply. We have a cat list somewhere.
Cat inventory.
Yes, if you go to the bottom left where the dwarf's face is.
Okay.
Citizens, and then go to pets and livestock. Yep, and then you see all the animals.
Okay.
You even have a peacock.
You got a peacock, Jakob? Dude, you're awesome at this game.
And it's tamed. Also have a two-humped camel calf as water buffalo.
Did you say you have a camel cat?
Camel calf.
Ah.
Baby camel. Where did that come from? There's only one adult camel.
They produce with spores.
Can I see it? Okay, it doesn't have any.
Hunky in chat was asking what adventure mode entails exactly, and I can explain that a little bit more because I've been throwing it out there. But adventure mode is essentially like the roguelike RPG version of Dwarf Fortress. So it's not a base builder and a manager as this is. It's a game where you actually get to control an individual character. It doesn't even have to be a dwarf. You can be an elf. In the trailer, we have a hippo man. So every animal has a man variant of it.
Pardon me?
Oh, yes. And once you build a tavern, you'll get visitors that may be animal people, which are very funny and sometimes mischievous. But you can control any character and essentially explore your generated world. And there's a quest system and all that. So more news as we come along. But we're hoping for April for a release.
So basically,
I've heard it being compared to like a traditional roguelike in many ways, but with the details of Dwarf.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And I would say like roguelike as in like roguelike, like classic roguelike.
Yeah.
Like the literal definition. Yes, any animal can also be a were animal.
Oh, so you can get were turtles.
Oh yes.
Were dragonflies.
Yes. Well, actually, I don't know about the dragonflies, but probably.
Were season 5. What are what is the most dangerous form of were creature?
Oh. I don't know if there's one that's inherently more dangerous than the other.
Okay.
Are there anything that turns into dwarves? Like were-dwarves?
I believe so. Yeah, dwarves can be werewolves, dwarves can be vampires, dwarves can be necromancers if you stock your library with enough books that gets people interested. There's a lot of bad things that can happen to the dwarves. They can have strange moods, which is when they are overcome with a spirit of something and are compelled to create something that could either be good or bad.
I had one of my I woke up to a text in my friend group of all my friends who are obsessed with Dwarf Fortress right now, and one of them told the story of one of their dwarves who went insane, so the other dwarves locked him away, and he got into wood carving, and he carved a bracelet which was engraved with the carving of a different famous bracelet.
Yep, that's very possible because they would have known about that in the legends, and you could probably find the inspiration of that bracelet of the other bracelet somewhere in the text. Yeah. Or sometimes they'll carve things that are related to things that they experience. So like they may carve an image of a dragon they slayed to show off that, yeah, like I did that, as dwarves do.
As is there, I mean, believe me, if I had slayed a dragon, you would never hear me shut the fuck up about that.
Of course, and they're really hard to kill. Like if you encounter anything like that, it's hard to kill.
Are
They
there
could
dragons?
destroy your whole. Yeah, there's like there's forgotten beasts, which are like all manner of things.
Okay.
And some of them don't resemble anything specific, and some of them do. So like dragon-like creatures, demon-like creatures, or like yeah, things like that.
Are people still? I remember this from way back. Are people still referencing like the classic like meme stories, like a boat murdered? And there was another one I remember. There was like these stories that people crafted, and they went around like these pictures, just telling
Oh
the
yes,
story. That's remember
Boat Murdered is
that
the
be
classic one.
yeah, that was the
For
thing
sure.
that actually that got me hooked back then.
What was it, Jakob?
It's basically someone made like played the game and then like told the story through like a comic style meme. You could probably if you Google boat murder, you could probably find it.
Boat murder.
Boat murder.
Boat Murdered. I could probably find that link for folks. But yeah, it's the creator of that, I believe, is Krug Smash, and he's a creator. He still makes videos on YouTube, and he draws out the things that happen in Dwarf Fortress. So it's really cool because you get to actually like. It requires some creativity because it's all based on text and things like that. And he makes a series of images to tell his story of his fort.
Jakob, I looked up boat murder and I just got a trailer for the talented Mr. Ripley. But I think Alexandra, what you were saying was like I think that's coolest as somebody who is a complete Dwarf Fortress noob, but surrounded by a lot of friends who are obsessed with it right now. I think the coolest like part for me is like sort of seeing it secondhand is how people experience each of their runs as though like I don't know, it's like its own individual Icelandic saga. And my friends in the chat will just spam with like just different stories of these two dwarves that they've followed in their relationship and how it's unfolded, or how someone's gone insane, or one dwarf got jealous of another and killed them, or just like, but that it takes on this like sort of this entire myth being written for you as you unfold it.
That's a really good way of putting it, right? Like just like a whole bunch of little tales and adventures and mishaps and trials and tribulations, and it's unique to every player, which is why I think people love sharing the stories, is because they know like there's probably a good chance that's never happened to any other player, and that their story is unique to them and their experience, not just by how they tell it, but by the literal things that happen.
That's so cool. So like with all, I mean, in looking at, you know, say in the where the computer rolls the odds for a dwarf's personality or what can happen or something like that, all of that and those possibilities is everything there written by the two brothers?
Not everything is handwritten. I know that like there's a lot of like handwritten procedural generation stuff. A lot of it is in like Caves of Cud, for example, another game we publish, where they'll have procedurally generated books, but also some are handwritten and procedurally generated at the same time. And so I think there's like there's obviously semblances of like a handcrafted language and style going on here, but it's also handcrafted in the sense that the procedural generation is handcrafted. Like people ask a lot of like, oh, can AI do this? And the answer is no, it cannot. Like it would not nearly be as funny and like charming as it is, because like there's just rules built into the code that allow certain things to happen and some things that don't. And it's constantly being manipulated by Tarn depending on like what the results are. So for example, like there was a meta back where people would farm mermaids because they were valuable, and so they would create these like mass tanks in which they would like capture the mermaids and then murder them by like draining the tanks.
Just like
And
factory farming mermaids.
factory farming mermaids, basically, because it was just like a meta way of getting like a lot of money. And this was like
Awesome.
upsetting. So Tarn made it so that like he nerfed the mermaid's value, I think, is what happened, because he's just like, I don't really, this is bothering me, and I don't want people to use this game for murder machines. And that's kind of like a subset of the community that just wants to do that, but it's just like it's kind of like uncomfy a little bit, and I think it's just like not the way that Tarn wanted the game to be played. So yeah, it's constantly changing because you really never know what people will come out of it.
Off the whim of two dudes.
Right, and it's like they're sweet guys, you know, like they love animals, they love just like they're just wholesome guys, you know what I mean? So it's just like they're like, I don't want this game to be used for mermaid murdering, and if that's what the game's all about, then it kind of, I think, takes away from the fun of it.
I've got somebody over in YouTube, Hound NL says, why is GSG covering this game? That is a fair question, and if you are just tuning in, the game in question here is Dwarf Fortress, as brought to Steam by Kitfox Games. We've got today Kitfox's community manager, Alexandra, joining us, and Ghost Ship Games is joining forces with Kitfox in 2024 to push for the greatest issue in gaming, in fact, sort of in modern society, which is that right now Steam does not have a tag in their library for dwarf games. And we believe 2024 is long past for dwarves to get their due. So we are teaming up. We're two dwarves getting on each other's shoulders and putting on a trench coat and trying to get into a movie theater. But more importantly, we are teaming up to campaign for this. So if you recognize the injustice in not giving dwarves their due and recognizing the achievements of dwarves all across fiction in every cave and every mountain across the world and beyond, then it sounds like you are the right person to join together in the Dwarves Unite campaign. So that is why we're gathered here today, is to bring attention to this pressing issue.
It's really wild to me how, like, in 2024 and slash 2023, we had the game of the year, which is, you know, Baldur's Gate 3 came out and took the world by storm. And that is actually a game where you can play as a dwarf. That is one of the options. And do I think most people play as the dwarf? No, I don't think so, because that's just the nature of the world, where the dwarves are underrated always, but
they're overlooked because people aren't looking
overlooked down. Right, exactly. And so I want to know more about what Larian specifically is doing. I think that we need their help in this regard.
Good heavens, yes. I think we got to send a couple tweets their way. To all you out there, you know, maybe if either if you are, you know somebody who works at Larian, or you follow them on Twitter, say, hey folks, have you heard the word about dwarfs, and what are your feelings on a dwarf tag in 2024? We are looking for, actually, it's a call to action, and everybody in the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat, if you can think of a game developer studio that is dwarf friendly, or people that make dwarf games, throw the name of that game or the studio in the chats here, so we can I'll write a little list down so we can get the coalition together. We're going to be like the pint-sized Avengers, and we are pushing for this great cause. So everyone out there, if you've got your dwarf games, let us know.
I was actually talking to the Timberborn devs the other day, and I told them, I'm like, you realize that beavers are basically the dwarves of the animal kingdom?
For sure. They're little industrious guys. They're, I think, overlooked and unsung by a lot of other, perhaps more elegant animals.
And as a Canadian, I'm specifically invested in the beavers and where they stand on the world, because I think a lot of the Canadian animals are usually like a little silly, right? Like the moose is a little silly.
Yeah.
You know, the beaver, what else do we got? Canadian goose, no one likes those. I'm not going to defend those.
They're mean.
But the beavers, for sure, they're silly little guys, but they are also like, you'd be surprised how a beaver dam holds up in this world.
Yeah. Actually, I'll say moose kind of get a weird rap because they're one of the ones like hippos where people think they're silly, but then they'll murder the hell out of you.
Oh my goodness, they're so dangerous.
I'm from Minnesota, which is honorary
Oh
Canada.
yeah.
And we round about those parts, you learn to not fuck with a moose.
And that's the same, I think, for dwarves, right? Like, dwarves can be a little intimidating, but I think they're still, at the end of the day, you don't suspect them because they're small, and that maybe gets them overlooked, but they're sturdy and strong.
That's exactly right. And the only thing sturdier and stronger than one dwarf is many dwarves together. So this is why we're reaching our stubby, sturdy hands out to our fellow dwarves, our brothers and sisters in the depths, to join forces for Dwarves Together and Dwarves Unite, because together we stand a little taller.
I noticed you got some migrants coming in. We got some visitors to the fort. This is very exciting. I wonder where they are.
What's going on?
How do I? Maybe no. That's
The red shirts are children, by the
Red
way.
shirts are
We do
children.
not have the child sprite in the game yet. So right now the children are just red shirts.
Oh, they'll play make believe. Okay.
Yes. Protect the children.
His job is having a drink. His job is having a drink. He's fishing.
I think it's looking pretty good so far. I'm very impressed with what y'all going on. I think you could dig a little bit deeper, though.
Yeah.
We could be going down a few layers.
That's
because
not
right
that's
now,
not a setup, is it?
Sorry?
Is that a setup? Will I meet some? Will I plummet to my
No,
death?
no. A few floors will not do you any harm, that's for sure. But right now you're hitting the soil levels. So if you want to start digging for rock and stuff, you do have to dig a little bit deeper to hit that. But it is great for farming, which you have going on there. So that's perfect.
Yeah, there could be rock and stone down there.
There is
think?
most definitely.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, that's where I'm
Red
going.
shirts like in Star Trek? Yes, exactly. The children are susceptible, that's for sure. Like they get strange moods, they can become violent, they get depressed, you know.
Just like everything in this game so far seems a pretty accurate simulator of real life.
Exactly. This is just the way of things. This is looks like we hit some sort of ore there with the red. The red on the wall.
Sand wall.
Red sand wall. Uh-oh.
All right. If we're going for, well, know what? We'll go down other levels.
So far in the chat, we've got when I ask people to name other dwarf featuring games, we've got Baldur's Gate, of course. Somebody points out people are asking whether Kerbals count as dwarfs, and I don't know if by a dwarf purist definition, perhaps not, but I think in the sense that they're hardworking little guys, which like beavers, like well, not gnomes because they're not hardworking, but
right.
I think any hardworking little guy can appreciate the plight of the dwarf, and any short fella who's willing to, or fellette who's willing to stand in solidarity for this movement, I think is very much welcome in the Dwarves Unite campaign.
Kerbal is it's an interesting example for sure, because it should be a dwarf game, in my opinion.
Yeah, you could reskin it as that.
Right, and I'm sure it already exists, and if not, like maybe that's something we need to get on. I don't know.
Yeah. We've got folks pointing out, let's see here, we've Vermintide as well has a famous playable dwarf.
Oh,
classic tank class. Our Scandinavian neighbors. Also Lord of the Rings, which is actually the IP is owned by the same holding company that owns Deep Rock Galactic. So it's time for us to call in the biggest favor we ever have.
Yeah, that would be the OG, I guess, is anything Tolkien related.
If anyone watching is has any sort of connection to the Tolkien estate, fuck it. Reach out to him. Say, hey, we need your help. Someone is blowing the great brass horn that from deep within the earth that summons all dwarves.
We need Gimli for season 5.
Gimli is the 5th class.
Oh my goodness, that would be incredible. I mean, what are they doing with the Lord of the Rings IP right now? Not really anything, as far as I know.
Trying to figure out if they can split The Hobbit into more full-length movies.
Yeah, I mean that's clearly not going to work out for them.
I
And
think
I know there was some good dwarf representation in the Rings of Power show. I loved that.
I think Mark just made an excited gasp when you said the thing about the Hobbit movies, Aaron.
Was that a gasp
I
confirmed from Mark?
Yeah, I think he's here for it.
But yeah, but let's see. If anyone else has any ideas beyond, we've got Kerbals, Baldur's Gate on our contact list for who did brass together. We've got Kerbals, Baldur's Gate, Vermintide, Lord of the Rings, just generally. God of War has dwarves too. This is correct. That's a
Oh.
good call. Shout out Hound NL. That's a great one. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a game with dwarves in the name or dwarves as the main character, but if there's a game that is sympathetic to the dwarven cause, we're here for it.
Yeah, I'm not interested in games that have dwarves as the villains, like where you just have to kill dwarves and things like that. I don't
This
know
is
if I
true.
want to do that.
Yeah, no, we have to.
Not that I think there's any games that exist like that.
No one would dare.
I don't want to know about it if it exists.
Do not come to my doorstep telling me about dwarf on dwarf violence.
Well, I guess
I'm
that's
not here
World of
for it.
Warcraft, right? They have the evil
Yeah,
dwarves in that.
that's true.
I don't know. I don't. That's a little. I don't know.
I saw what World of Warcraft did to my roommate during the pandemic. I'm not here for it. Actually, maybe it saved his life.
That's right. Dwarves are friends, not food. Don't eat them. Even though they may be little snacks to giants.
Speaking of dwarves being food, Jakob, have you run into any enemies so far?
Just like the dead dragonfly upstairs. Now I think I'm hitting some. Oh, yeah, that's all. Tetra
Oh
headband.
yeah, now we're getting it. And if you haven't yet, it might be good to zone off a tavern area. I don't know where you have
Oh,
your.
right, they're angry that they couldn't drink.
Yeah,
I think
James,
It's
you need
mostly
to
that's,
just.
make an Abyss Bar ASAP. Can you name the taverns?
Oh, you can. Yes.
Oh, it's the Abyss Bar. We have to have it.
let's see.
So that'll actually be a zone.
Oh, that'll
It's
be
not a
so.
building.
Okay, drinking corner. Okay, I'm gonna get big.
Yeah, you'll want a nice area for people to sit, maybe a table. Fun fact, only one chair can be at a table at a time. This annoyed me when I was trying to put two chairs at a table. Dwarves don't like that.
Oh, there's a game called We Are the Dwarves,
Oh.
where you take control of 3 dwarven astronauts. Sick.
What? Get them on the phone.
Call them up. I need to holler at these dwarves. Fist of Snake says, well, there's a game called Dwarfs, exclamation point, question mark. All right, we got to get those on too. I'm already feeling that, we've got a good dozen games here. Between them, we must have millions and millions of brave miners. Yeah, what are you building right now?
Somewhere for the dwarf to eat.
Dwarves
And
love
once you
hanging
hit
out.
that zone,
I
then
should make
you'll
better.
start getting all sorts of people come in. I know, like for me, the bards love to come to the taverns from all around the world, and the songs and instruments are also procedurally generated. So they'll describe the song they're playing, and they'll describe what instrument they're using. And sometimes they're just singing, and sometimes they're using some sort of device.
Anytime I have an option to hear a song, I'd much rather have it be played on a device than an instrument.
So all your dwarves who were chilling outside are now inside, safe from
That's good.
the weather.
Yeah, they weren't too happy about the rain. Except
I don't know what it is, but they hate the rain.
Do you know if this is an overall dwarf lore thing about dwarves hating rain? I
Yeah,
guess it
that's
would
what
make
I'm
sense
wondering.
if you're an underground lifestyle type of person, having I don't know, water coming from the sky is probably an upsetting sensory experience.
my game is saving hard. Okay, yeah, maybe. Oh, there we go. They're down here, so we need. Okay, we need to go and make some the table. Alternate to casket door. Gate minecart. Table.
Yeah, a few tables and chairs.
Someone actually said I needed a manager to put the. To put
Oh,
a number
that's
there.
right. That's why it wasn't showing up. Yeah, you need a manager, and the manager will help you with all the other things about the tasks.
Also noticed that again the storage. That the numbers in my storage are actually not precise unless I have a bookkeeper to keep account of.
That's really
everything.
good.
Yeah.
There is a level of granular detail here that only these two guys and Rain Man could think of. This is outstanding.
It's those little details that some people really, really love. Some people think it's like too much. It's like, why? It's so annoying. But it all
Why
has to be
not?
accounted for.
I mean, even though it may make my life more difficult, I respect the choice and insistence on having to deal with it.
Table. And
Pylenta says, have you heard about this funny little dwarf game called Deep Rock Galactic? That's another great call. We'll definitely reach out to those devs as well and see if they're interested in this. Alexandra, have you played Deep Rock Galactic before?
Oh, I have a little bit, yes.
Okay, because we could maybe we could do a status update stream once we reach out to other if we reach out to a couple other dwarf developers and get them on board. We could do another one where we host in our home game and bring you on board for that.
That would be so much fun. I would love that.
Entrophis points out regarding dwarves and their dislike for rain, says, I mean, to be fair, we humans stay inside during the rain too. That's fair. Maybe it's just sort of a humanoid thing.
In order to get the manager set up, you do have to build him a little office. And it can just be it can be just like a simple room. But you need a chair, and you need to assign a dwarf to be a manager, and then they're ready to go.
Wow, this is beginning to a lot like real life offices and everything.
It's like a work from home setup, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to have just the basics.
So we need. That a zone?
Yes.
Dig it first.
Yeah, do you remember 15 years? Whoop, what are you doing?
I don't know, but something looks like something. Oh, it's some grass is growing in my. What's it? That lizard.
Hey, to everybody tuning in, everybody watching the stream so far, put a type 1 or a plus sign in the chat if you have Dwarf Fortress yourself or if you've played it before.
Oh yeah, I'm really curious. Like, what if there's folks that. Because I know it's not exactly the same game, right? Like Deep Rock Galactic and Dwarf Fortress, very different gameplay. But there is some crossover simply because of the spirit of the dwarfs.
Because I'm curious first to see. Okay, we got some dwarf heads up in Twitch. We've got Spyron28 saying I really want to play it now. Nice, that's marketing.
Yeah.
That's sweet. This is cool. I want to also once we get a little nobody. We got a few dwarves over on YouTube as well. Let's go. Got a couple people interested. Right on. That's the power of once you're thinking like a dwarf, anything becomes possible.
Imagine what we could do with the dwarf tag on Steam.
Imagine
how many more people that would be able to find us, right? Like we know they're out there. They're stuck with a useless system on Steam that you can't find dwarf games with.
That prioritizes boomer service over
boomer service. I know. And really, how many boomers are actually playing those games? We know it's not the boomers, it's the Gen X at least.
You're exactly right. You know where boomers are? They're playing games on tablets or they're at the penny slots at the casino. Those are the two places where boomers go to game if they're serious about it. So they're not on Steam playing Warhammer Bolt Gun. No shame to Bolt Gun, cool game, but it's not for boomers, even though it's something that would get tagged like that. We're here for the real issues.
Oh, your caravan has arrived.
Oh shit! What's that mean?
So these are travelers that will trade with you, and they will set up a little. They're not. I don't. They're probably not here quite yet. They're on their way.
Oh yeah.
But you can trade with them. So it depends. We'll see what they have. Maybe they'll have something.
The question
We
is,
want.
do I have something they want? Also, I had a hole. I think I had a cave in here, so I patched it up with a hatch.
Ah, very good.
Yeah. I'm very proud of that. All right, where did they?
And you got your diplomacy button up there.
Oh wow, yeah, that's Okay, the output liaison. Yeah, okay. Discuss your situation. Yeah, let's do that.
Alexandra, somebody over on Twitch is saying, I wonder how this game runs so fast with so much detailed simulation going on. I think it's also something that's really impressive to me is it like, in a game where every individual little NPC has like a short book's worth of personal history and like thoughts logged, that, it seems to run very smoothly.
Yeah, the nice thing is we actually recently added multi-threading, which I think helped a lot in that regard. I don't know much about those things, but that's what I've been told. The real issue comes when when your fort gets larger and your population increases. So there's definitely like a thing that the community calls FPS FPS death, where
Yeah.
your fort is just too bustling for your computer to handle. So it definitely can get to the point where it just won't work. And there's not much we can do about that right now. But at the early stages, it's perfectly fine. So yeah, you can request a specific kind of thing from the caravan, and they'll bring it for you next year.
But it'll cost more.
Right.
It's very
but if you know you need something, then it's kind of like you're low on meat. Meat is your lowest thing, and plant. But maybe plant is not so hard to find, but maybe the meat is.
Yeah, I bet you wish you had a mermaid farm right about now, huh, Jakob?
Yep. Giant mermaid aquarium. But yeah, I can even specify the meat. Paired wombat brain. That's awfully specific.
Alexander,
I can
am I
get the brain
correct?
of any animal here.
Yeah, any brain.
Wow. I can make a yak haggis. Lung, heart, intestines, and liver. Oh, cool.
Alexander, am I correct in understanding that dwarves can also kill each other due to jealousy and personal disagreements?
Oh, yes, all the time. The drama and all that can unfold like anything else.
So
all sorts of things.
It's basically like Rock of Love, but with shorter contestants.
Oh my god, that was like that brought me back to an era I don't want to think about. But yeah, I guess you could say that. That's true. I mean, because there's multiple wives. There's situations where some people want to be the leader and some people don't. There's children that fight. There's
a Brett Michael Sprite.
Oh yeah, I mean that's already in probably the workshop, the Steam
workshop. One of the first things introduced.
Actually, if you want to know the truth, one of the first mods on the Steam Workshop were milkable gorillas.
Christ, I do not want to venture into the mind of the ambitious modder who was the first person to put that up.
It's kind of incredible how fast they worked. They must have had it planned beforehand.
Must have been some sort of demand, right? Unless they made it for themselves.
That sounds like the supply and demand was the same person.
Yeah, because I mean, like wanting it is one thing, but like making it for someone else because they want it when it's something like that, I think that's and it's a dedicated community, if anything.
It is definitely high up there. I'm just looking at it now. Yeah, it's got 275 ratings. It's a 5-star mod. It's called an essential mod as well.
I get it.
Oh, should have added.
Yeah, I was mistaken. I should have gotten you to put that one up there.
Jakob, you're starting to receive flack in YouTube for what fans are describing a drinks problem, which is that your dwarves don't have enough to drink.
That is correct. That's bad.
It's a very common problem to have for sure, though.
I wish I had some gorillas to milk. I've just gotta say it. That's
the dwarves of Deep Rock, I think, are also very familiar with a drinks problem, and in fact, management at the Deep Rock Galactic Corporation, I think, also struggles with providing enough to drink for the dwarves.
How do the dwarves in Deep Rock Galactic feel about being managed in such a way?
I think that's sort of to be. It's based on largely sort of inferences made during different voice lines, and they're definitely not like a wow, this company's a family. We love the workplace. I think they're aware at some level of their exploitation, but they are not. They're not militant in their resistance, but nor are they like they complain about management and sort of gripe about. I think they're aware that a soft resentment for those with desk jobs in the Deep Rock Galactic Corporation.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that there's sort of a peaceful or willful ignorance about their lack of true organization or lack of true fair treatment by the company. I don't think it's if you were to sit one of these dwarves down and ask them to truly reflect on their on the struggles of the proletariat, and you made them read Mao's Little Red Book, I think they would start to understand their. Let's see. This is a long-winded say of saying I don't think dwarves in Deep Rock have really strong class consciousness, but I think that they could be converted. But unfortunately, there's no union organizer character in the game.
Mm.
But that's very fortunate for the Deep Rock Galactic Corporation because it keeps them really easy to exploit.
That's a problem for sure. I mean, it's the problem in this game too, right? Because you have the manager, but the manager is always one of their own. You know what I mean? Like they're chosen. They're one of the chosen few.
So they have sort of
So
a cooperative ownership model.
right. It's a little bit of a different dynamic. There's other things that the dwarves answer to, like the elves are obviously somewhat misunderstood in Dwarf
Did you say
Fortress, to be
elves?
honest. Oh, I'm sorry.
What? All right.
We
Just
will
so I
not speak.
just for just for the fans in the chat that may have heart conditions or fragile temperaments, can you explain to me the presence of elves in Dwarf Fortress?
Oh, I'm sorry to utter their name, but it's kind of you have to be aware of them at the very least because they are real, and they do show up, and they don't like it when you cut down trees because they're a little hippie,
They're
and
leaf
that's
lovers, is
fine.
what they
You
are.
know, that's their thing. But at the same time, you can't. It's really hard to avoid cutting down trees in this game because you need the wood.
You do.
So and if you do too many, then they will come and they will attack.
Oh man. So
And
you
so
could.
that creates a little bit of a rift between the dwarves and the elves.
So elves are not your friends in this game.
They're not as villainous as the community likes to make them out to be. Like, there's definitely straight up hostile creatures in this game that will attack you no matter what. But they are definitely not. And you can trade with them. They may come as bards and things like that. But there's kind of trouble, and they're always kind of looking out for things. They will also drop their propaganda in your fort. I've had a situation where an elf came into my fort and dropped a book on the floor that was about I don't remember exactly what, something related to conserving plants or something like that. And that obviously went right in the trash. I wasn't reading that, but they try.
Good heavens, that's classic elves.
And this one was naked too, I believe. So they were
Wow,
walking around without any clothes in my fort, like it was theirs.
the absolute nerve. I've got a question from where did that go? Pepper Ice Cream over in Twitch says you've probably explained this at the beginning of the stream, but I thought this game was all ASCII. If someone's now just tuning in and they thought of Dwarf Fortress as a ASCII spreadsheet like game, can you tell them what's been happening? Because I think that's also kind of what Kitfox's one of their big roles here is.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely 100% right. It is an ASCII game, and it's actually still playable and updated on the Bay 12 website for free. So the game will always be free, the classic version, and available. Whether or not you can play it or not is another question, but it is there with the updates.
If you
So
dare.
if you dare, and there's actually even a little fun button that you can press in the Steam mode to switch to ASCII at any moment. So there's a little toggle.
Whoa.
If you hit escape and go to the main menu, and then you go to settings, and then say use classic ASCII glyphs, and you hit yes, and it'll.
Yeah, just for a quick throwback, can we boot that up to take a blast to the
There
past?
we go.
Wow.
Oh baby.
Look at them go. Oh, the water's flowing.
All
All right.
Now it
We
looks
should
like
have
you're
started
really
out
playing.
like this.
Now we're playing how the pioneers used to play.
I joke that if you are playing Dwarf Fortress at work and you want to make it look like you're hacking or something fun, you can just switch this on, and people won't even know you're playing a game.
This is a huge tip for people whose job isn't playing computer games.
Right, right.
And I think that the crazy thing is that playing this in the classic version without mouse support, like just like figuring out what plant is what, like just you couldn't even mouse over. You had to move the cursor, right? And then just see this is maple trunk and this is hemp plants and hemp leaves, and just I mean, it's so much.
You really have to just know what each symbol represents, and in order to do that, you basically have to have like a deep knowledge of the game or the Wikipedia page like right beside you
Yeah,
at all
see,
times.
this is a dwarf. This is a classic dwarf right there.
Yes, those little smiley faces.
I can see how this game, like once you, especially in this early version, like once you learned it, how you would just get an astounding sense of ownership of like, this is my domain. I am master of this the forgotten language.
Yeah, it's like being able to like look at the matrix and just see things from the.
And there's some people that still like to play classic, and or like Cupo will do their art in classic specifically for certain things that look better.
Now that's an
Um,
ancient master.
An ancient master for sure of the literal glyphs.
Wow. So we've got glyphids, and you guys have glyphs. See, us dwarves, we're not so different.
Not so different. It's the lore is continuous throughout the games, which is why I think that we need to work together because we all have a similar understanding of things.
That's such a great point. I'm glad you bring that up, Alexandra. If you are just tuning in right now to the chat, first of all, welcome. Second of all, you are joining us at what will forever be remembered as one of the most historic moments in dwarf solidarity and indeed gaming history, because it is today on this dev stream that we are joining forces at Dwarf Fortress and Deep Rock Galactic to push the biggest cause of this generation, which is getting Steam to acknowledge the proud contributions of dwarves to gaming and acknowledge it and celebrate it with a dwarf tag on Steam. So if you play Deep Rock Galactic, if you play Dwarf Fortress, this is your fight too. If you know somebody that works at a game studio that also has to deal with dwarves, if you are Gabe Newell's nephew or niece, or if you live in Seattle, talk to somebody at Steam and let them know and say, hey, pal, what's going on? 2024, no dwarf tag? What gives? What's the big deal? And we hope you'll join our fight, which we will keep up in the coming months, and we will not rest until we get dwarves recognized with their own tag on Steam.
You know what's wild too is that like
Ooh, jackpot.
things like the Game Awards, for example,
Sure.
it's like a celebration of gaming, is what they say.
Yeah.
They also really don't have anything that recognizes dwarf games, like a category, for example. I know they have a lot of categories, and there's not enough time to go through every award and whatever. But I think they could still make room for one more.
I agree.
And same with the Steam Awards. Why does and I don't even want to get started on the Steam Awards this year because
we haven't actually checked the
reeling.
results. Yeah, no, we did. We've been saving it. We do you know who won Labor of Love?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay, well, we'll check it after work.
I'll keep the champagne chilled just in case.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say it. Fuck it. Rockstar, you're also in on this fight now. Welcome. Our fight's your fight. You need to join us for dwarf tags as well.
They have to do that to make up for the atrocity that happened.
Dare I be so bold? You owe us.
And Labor of Love really is a mantra of the dwarves themselves as well. That's just what the dwarves are about. So the fact that y'all didn't win that, very upsetting.
That's true. And we've got games that exemplify both labor and love. We've got games about dwarven labor. We've got dwarves loving each other, loving multiple spouses at the same time. We've got mining, we've got minerals, we've both got rocks and stones. Only one of our games has dwarven polyamory. But there's so much worth fighting for, and so much in the rich, colorful, and immense tapestry of dwarven gaming history that it would be a shame as leaders in the dwarven gaming community to let this opportunity fall by the wayside. So we hope you'll join us in these coming months as we ban dwarves from all corners and all caves in for Dwarves Unite or Dwarves Together. We're still deciding whether it's one of the two. Anyway, you know what we're talking about.
And I'll even give you one up on this issue. And if we want to really get down to the brass tacks of it all,
Oh yeah.
the first game, I would say, in the modern sense, is inspired by, if we're talking about D&D, right, like the basis is inspired by the Mines of Moria segment of Lord of the Rings. Who lives in the Mines of Moria? The dwarves.
Whoa.
So the first setting ever in the modern fantasy world is the home of the dwarves, and that just that tells you everything you need to know right there.
The more you think about it, and the more we learn about this history, the more insane it is that it's already become 2024, year of our Lord, and there are no dwarves recognized with their own tag.
It's wild.
When I think about it,
if Tolkien was alive,
yeah.
If Tolkien was alive to see this, I think he'd have a lot of things to say about the modern world. But specifically about this,
yeah.
Oh, he would die again.
And honestly, you know what? That blood is on Steam's hands.
I know. They got to live with that for the rest of their lives, Gabe.
Gabe Newell, if you're watching this, you
he better
scoundrel. J.R.R. Tolkien is dead because of you. Guys, I think we're. Gosh, sorry, I checked the script. We're going off track.
Gabe's got a lot on his plate, but the fact that he did not acknowledge dwarves before is a problem now.
And we're here to bring him to justice, dead or alive.
Do not harass Gabe Newell. Please.
Do not.
His email is very open and available, and do not abuse that.
Legal disclaimer. Please do not harass Gabe Newell in any way, shape, or form. Ghost Ship Games nor Kitfox Games endorses the harassment of Gabe Newell nor any employees of the Valve Corporation.
So I'm currently looking into like the work details you can do. Can I actually assign a dwarf to gelding?
Oh, yeah. That's very important.
Yeah.
Because that controls the population.
That's how you get out of the cat problem, right?
Yes. Yeah. You want to actually do that at some point, but that's not, like maybe not right now. But you want to control the surplus population of the cats.
I'm just saying, I have 2 cats. That's a female. Let's see. Oh wait. Oh, they're both females.
Oh, okay. So you may be all right.
No risk just yet. No gelding this season. I think I tried to make an office up here, but it's just been invaded by a dwarven child.
Yeah, the child can play in the office for sure. Did you happen to appoint a dwarf as a manager?
No, I'm still maybe looking into how to actually do. Is that labor? Wait.
Of love?
Labor of love.
Speaking of.
Well, our old nemesis.
So yeah, you'll want to go to the nobles. Are you in the nobles screen? That's an N.
Whoa, doesn't. Okay, doesn't. All right.
There
also,
you
it's
go.
not just a job. It's actually something that's okay.
I've got Jalicon on YouTube says my cat just joined me. Everyone on YouTube and Twitch, please say welcome, Mr. Cat, Mr. Kitty Cat. And Jalicon, please tell your cat that in 2024, we're relying on your cat to join us, to join Paws with our dwarven hands, to get Steam to ratify dwarves as a tag on Steam. Your cat is now part of this fight, whether you like it or not. In fact, your cat it's our cat. Welcome, Comrade Cat, and welcome to our fight.
You're also going to need a chair in the office. I think that's the one thing.
The child is on my chair.
Oh, the child is sitting on the chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the dabbling planter. Okay. Still play,
got
maybe leave.
Punk Guitar Z66 on Twitch, who I for some reason always will remember as a Minnesotan, says, y'all remember the game Dwarf Delve? Needs a dwarf tag. Good shout. Yeah, for anyone new to the chat, we are currently gathering a list of dwarf-based games. Because if you're super new to the chat here, we are talking about Dwarves United, which is our movement to get Steam to recognize dwarves on their game platform. So if you know any games featuring dwarves, either dwarves as a prominent character, either dwarves as the main character, or dwarves as an important part of the lore or world building, let us know. I'm writing down a list, and we are reaching out to every single diggity-danged one of them. Saturn on twitch.edu says, oh, are you exploring the new Steam Dwarf tag? Well, there's no Steam Dwarf tag yet, but that's why Ghost Ship Games and Kitfox Games are, is it Kitfox Publishing or Games?
Kitfox Games, yeah.
Kitfox Games. We're going back to back like Lethal Weapon, but way shorter to get dwarves on Steam. Tom DM says, I think this niche game called Deep Rock Galactic has dwarves. Not sure, though. Yeah, no, never heard of them. Sounds like a loser studio. They've never won a Steam Awards, so yeah, not interested.
Also, there's no dwarf in the title of that game, so I don't know for sure if there's dwarf in it.
Hard to say. I'll look at that one later. Somebody says, return to Namgrim. Beneath the mountain. Return to...
Okay, I'm making an iron anvil out of chalk. Guess that's.
Oh, I love that.
That's resourceful.
I think it's what I have. Yeah, I have.
The soft anvil, but it'll work nonetheless.
Oh, it's not done. Oh.
You're doing a very excellent job, by the way. I'm very impressed.
So much. So much. Thing. Adamantine.
Oh, adamantine. A backpack made of adamantine.
Whoa, that's got to be heavy as hell.
Seems a bit out of my. I just want. I think I cut some gems. I just want something to put them in.
An instrument.
Yeah. Oh, I need metal bars. Metal. Then I need a.
Are you trying to build a forge, Jacob?
Yeah, that we can call it a forge. Magma. I don't have. Do I need magma to make a forge?
You need the magma to make a magma forge because it's powered by magma.
So.
But you can make a furnace.
Oh yeah, right.
Jacob, not Jacob. Alexandra, what happens when somebody makes a forge? What do you? What starts to get unlocked? What life opportunities are unlocked for that?
Oh gosh, that's just where all like your. Oh, where is it going?
What am I? Oh, here we go. I just lost my entire fortress.
The forge is in space.
Uh-oh.
Doing it. Shop. Smelter.
Good call by Groovy over on YouTube. They point out that the Witcher series have dwarves, and Geralt is great friends with at least one of them.
Oh.
Well, all right, Geralt of Rivia / voice actor, blanking on him. No, was that Nolan North who voiced the original? Who voiced? Yeah, never mind. My actor knowledge has been failing me lately.
Doug, Cockle? What?
Doug Cockle.
Request fuel.
And Henry Cavill.
Oh, Henry Cavill. There we are. Yeah,
well, he did the
live
show.
Action.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill, I know you're a nerd. If you're watching this, or if somebody knows Henry Cavill, let him know. We need celebrity. This is going to be celebrity's new Darfur.
Oh, but didn't he like not? Didn't he leave the show?
He's doing a Warhammer now.
Yeah.
140K. I guess
which also has dwarves in it.
Yeah, they have dwarves now. What do I call it? Wotan?
Leagues
of Wotan.
Leagues of Wotan. And they also have the Deep Rock Legion. So Games Workshop, you're on our list.
They should be easy to get a hold of. You just show up to one of the Games Workshop's like stores and just talk to someone.
Yeah, we just threaten to misuse their IP, and then we get 14 of their lawyers to talk to.
And that's 14 people we can add to the cause.
And to a guy like me with my mindset, that's 14 potential friends.
All right, so now I need fuel for my smelter.
Classic smelter.
My requires fuel. Maybe it just requires fuel. I don't actually.
You need charcoal. Do you have that?
Probably not.
I know your broke ass has no charcoal.
Ow. I get charcoal in a kiln. Bake clay objects. A wood furnace. Aha!
Got a lot of people shouting out Bronzebeard's Tavern as a small game where you play as dwarfs in a tavern. Hell
Oh
yeah,
my
that's
goodness, that sounds
exactly the sort of
amazing.
operation. Shout out Bronzebeard Tavern. If anyone is in contact with their devs, let them know. Let them know the good word. If you're out there right now and you are active on any sort of dwarf game subreddit on their discords, if you're reading their tweets or tweeting at them, folks, spread the word. Let them know. Say dwarves around the world need your help. Because it's true. 2024 is the time that every dwarf stands together. We stand tall, or taller. It's a relative term. But we're going to make this happen. By the end of the year, mark my words, we're getting dwarves ratified.
They say
Yes, okay,
2024 is the year of the dragon, which is pretty impressive because the dragon's a pretty big deal.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I would argue that another word that starts with D is dwarves, and
That's
it's the year
huge.
of the dwarves.
It's huge. It's so right.
It's a dichotomy, right, between the large dragon and the small dwarf.
And the dwarf is, if you really think about it, it's sort of like the dwarf is the yin to the dragon's yang.
Right.
And without a big scary creature like a dragon, you need that contrast. And you know what brings them together? A love of gold.
Right. I didn't even think about that. Well, I mean, and two, the dragons use the dwarven minds, like in, well, again, Lord of the Rings, Smaug is in
Lord of the Rings, whose author, in fact, famously killed in cold blood by Gabe Newell, is legal disclaimer. We are in no way proposing that the author of the Lord of the Rings franchise was killed Gabe Newell. This is simply a joke. But yeah, also another famous one.
Are we like locking? We're locking these children. All the children are in your office.
It's now daycare.
What do you?
I think I read that that the office will need like a door.
Yeah, I go. What are you doing with them kids in that office? Are you
Does
locked
look like we have an actual
he's
manager
gonna,
in there now.
Yeah, he's gonna teach them some bookkeeping or something.
Is this your Dwarf World's Comet Pizza? You need to let those kids go.
He needs a meager study. Maybe this is not it.
Kids are always
maybe he needs to like forcibly remove the kids, or it's actually be a good. Don't bring your kids to work, manager. Maybe that's the issue.
Generally in most dwarven lines of work. Although actually, I feel like dwarves are kind of built different, where they do just put kids into mines, and it's like a more of a rite of passage, which is I don't know. I guess in like the 1800s, I guess we also just throw kids into like a cotton mill and call it a rite of passage as well. But now you can't anymore.
That's where it's coming from. It's the old school way of doing things.
Yeah, but you can't anymore because of
There's so many rules these days, so much bureaucracy. Someone's actually suggesting that there should be a Deep Rock Galactic Netflix series, and I was wondering if you could cast that for us real quick, like the main characters.
We get this often, and I've always thought that I would, for my immediate choice for Gunner is Jack Black.
Oh.
For Driller, I want John Goodman, but a slightly younger one. I will accept Fat Russell Crowe. Also, alternatively, like late 90s peak Steven Seagal. I'm casting.
Oh.
I'm going for a dangerous dice roll on that. I spent a lot of the pandemic watching way too many Seagal movies, and I'm talking like Glimmerman era Seagal. Would be one for me. For Scout, shoot, I'm trying to think of is it Barry Keoghan, the dopey guy from Banshees of Inisherin? I would go for him. And I've not yet engineer. Jakob, who would you cast? Give me an assistant.
Oh, now I'm throwing me off the loop.
Oh fuck, Sam Elliott, dude.
Sam Elliott, yeah.
He's the mustachioed guy that from
Oh yes, the big
Yeah.
mustache.
Big ass mustache.
I want to actually go for what's he called? Guy from Sam Rockwell, because he also has a name. But Sam
Oh
Rockwell, he
yeah,
would be.
Oh,
yeah. Good ass call on Sam Rockwell.
if you're
Um,
naming your star name Sam Rockwell, you better be a dwarf at some point in your life.
Yeah.
You've signed up for the Destiny.
You know
That's
what?
for sure.
Fuck it. I'm adding him to the list. Sam Rockwell, we need your help.
If you're watching, let
If
us know.
for some reason you, as a multimillionaire Hollywood actor, are spending what is going to be around 6:40 in the morning in your time zone watching the game development stream over in Scandinavia, Sam, we need your help. If you're out there, if you've ever run into Sam Rockwell at a grocery store, if you do now, or if you're related to Sam Rockwell, say, hey, friend, Sam, there's little dwarves out there and we need your help. It's in your name, it's in your blood. The rock and stone is in your blood. The dwarves call to you. We need you, Sam.
Ha.
I would
And
also
if
like
you're
for legal.
related to Sam Rockwell, then you also have a Rockwell name, which it like begs you to support the cause as well.
That's true. To all of Clan Rockwell, we need your help. Raise your fists in solidarity for Dwarves United. For legal reasons, this is not a call to action to harass Sam Rockwell in public. Please do not harass Sam Rockwell. He seems like a nice person. Somebody says Chris Pratt should play all the dwarves.
Oh no.
No, he already got his one video game thing, and I wasn't wild about it. I did realize, though, he's Minnesotan, which I didn't know, so that does make me like him a little more, but not enough to cast him.
Can you answer for him, please?
What?
As a Minnesotan, can you answer for him, please? And what he's doing, and
he just
he's doing Garfield now too. So what's going on there?
Did he? What?
Oh, he's Garfield too, and he does the same voice as Mario too.
That pisses me off. We went from Bill Murray Garfield to good heavens, what a downgrade. You know what I think? He got like really Christian in a celebrity way, like in a rich celebrity way, which is the same thing that happened to Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg, though, is different, which I think is a guilt response of being a Bostonian Irish Catholic and also repenting for the documented hate crimes that he committed in the 1990s. Look it up on Wikipedia. This is not slander. It's on his Wikipedia page. Anyway, he is doing it out of a spiritual need for repentance. I think Chris Pratt just ran out of things to do, and then he was like great in Parks and Rec when he was like kind of like a chubby dopey guy, but then he had to do one like CIA-funded Marines movie where they gave him a bunch of growth hormone and a personal trainer, and now that he's like jacked, he can't do that, and so I think he's just sort of adapted. Like either you go on a bender or you become really Christian and a wife guy, and now that's his thing.
Ooh, something just happened.
So there's my hot take on Chris Pratt.
That is like very hot and probably accurate. Okay, this is serious. So
what do we got?
So we have a Fey mood situation going on. So as you can see, your metal crafter at the bottom has a little like angel exclamation mark over its head occasionally. That means it wants to create something, and it's going to look for the items that it needs to be able to do it. So we'll want to pay attention to the metal crafter and read their thoughts and see what they need.
All right, and remember this: you have to like from what their thoughts, you have to figure out what kind of item it is they feel like making, right?
Exactly.
Oh man.
So let's take a look.
She's annoyed at the lack of chairs, so we're gonna build a legendary chair. Maybe.
I think it goes from most recent at the top though.
Oh.
I think.
Since she's trying to build a friend.
I get it.
I don't know if we are.
Let's see.
If she's moving yet. Sometimes it takes a minute. But see, she has the aspect of one Fey, which is good because it's not the bad one. Because it could also be evil presence. But Fey is good typically. So she's probably going to create a lovely treasure and an artifact that we'll be able to keep. Okay, she's on the move. If you click on the little camera at the bottom, the top right, you'll be able to follow her.
So want to see where
Yeah,
she's going?
there she goes.
She's gonna go. What is she?
We've got a lot of people on Twitch advocating for casting Danny DeVito. Obvious choice. You're correct. I overlooked Danny DeVito.
Oh my goodness! Of course.
And in fact, Danny, as the inventor and popularizer of the troll foot Twitter and Instagram social media page. He's also a, I think, clear advocate of Dwarven and troll-based posting online. So, Danny, this is going to be a cause celebrity. I think this is celebrities. I think need a new cause, and this is something that if you're out there and if you're famous and you're wealthy and you need to commit yourself to a higher calling, your calling is here. It's 2024. You log on Steam. You want to find a game that is based around dwarves, and you have to dig for eons, much like a dwarf itself, to even find your dwarf games. And that to me just ain't right. Which is why, folks, Ghost Ship Games and Kitfox Games are teaming up to bring the dwarf tag to Steam in 2024. But we need your help. If you are a celebrity, if you know a celebrity, if you run into a celebrity that isn't Sam Rockwell at the grocery store, tell them that their voices can be needed. Any dwarven game developer can join this movement. Dwarves United is launching here, and it's now, and it's at your doorstep, and we're bringing change to the whole thing world.
Strange she's not doing anything yet.
Honestly, Sam Rockwell's silence on this issue is deafening.
You know how, like, I don't mean to keep going on about the Game Awards, but clearly the approach there is to enact the support of, Hollywood celebrities to try and help boost the visibility of these kind of things. And, like, as much as I can be cynical about that, I think there is some truth to that.
Who did they get for their celebrities?
This past year they got Timothée Chalamet. He did the Game of the Year award announcement.
Does he game?
Oh, he games.
Does he?
Oh, if you want to look up some fun stuff, he used to have an Xbox 360.
Oh my God! Yes. Yeah. His custom painting thing. Fuck.
He used to do that. Yeah.
Damn. What's little T-Dog gaming on these days? What's that trapezoidal jawed sweetie pie doing?
What?
He's got a trapezoidal jaw. His jaw is shaped like a trapezoid. I mean that as a compliment. It's very well defined.
Oh my God.
Talks about it all
yeah,
the
I don't know
time.
what he's playing now. I mean, he better be playing something.
Well, he's dating one of the Jenners, is he not?
He is.
Go get that
I don't
bag.
remember which one, but one of them.
I never know. But I'm gonna say, go get that bag, T-Dog. Sell her a painted Xbox controller.
I'm not concerned about him. He's doing pretty well. He was just in the Wonka movie. He's going to be in Dune. That's coming out soon. He's booked and busy.
Oh my God, he is. If there's one young man getting the bag in this world, it's Sweet Tea. What was the fucking movie? I think it was Hostiles, that Christian Bale one, where Christian Bale's like a racist army commander that has to escort like a revered Native American chief to some destination. That was a movie where I had a surprise Chalamet occurrence, which is never something really you want to happen, but a surprise Chalamet is something that can happen to you when you're watching a movie and you're not prepared to see Timothée Chalamet, and then that young man shows up, and I don't know, it catches me off guard. I want to know when I'm going to see him. Anyway, enough about him.
That was the biggest celebrity for sure. I don't know if he can help us with our issue. I don't know. I get the impression he's too busy.
Yeah. But if he is willing to lend his heart to gamers worldwide, and indeed to dwarves in this universe and beyond, Sweet Tea, little Timmy, my guy, join us. Pop us a tweet. Give us a retweet. Give us a little bit of help. Because we're looking to get dwarves on Steam by the end of this year. This is our moon mission. This is our space race. This is our race against elves. And we need you, buddy.
Speaking of space, was he also the boy in Interstellar? T. Chalamet?
T. Shammy, as I call him online. Was he?
Yeah.
See, that's another movie.
Surprise Chalamet.
That's a surprise. That is a perfect example, Alexandra, of a surprise Chalamet. Because like Wonka, you know what you're getting. You see him in the trailer.
Yeah,
it's the movies where he's not in the trailer. And like, I don't know, if it's a fucking Wes Anderson movie, like you're a fool to not expect Timothée Chalamet. Just like, oh, it's Edward Norton in this. Come on, dude, you know what you bought. But like Interstellar is a perfect example of a big budget surprise Chalamet.
That also has a surprise Matt Damon in it.
God. Just like Team America World Police.
Oh.
Matt Damon.
Another person I don't think could help us.
But yeah, I don't know if Matt Damon games. All right, this is another. This is more just kind of fun fact collecting. But to everyone out in the chat on Twitch and YouTube, if you know of any confirmed celebrity gamers, and I don't just mean like, Drake played Fortnite one time. Drake, not a real gamer. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna start beef with OVO clan right now and say Drake is not a real gamer. I'm sorry to slander a fellow Canadian, Alexandra, but I think
it's fine. We don't. He's kind of a menace in the Toronto world.
yeah, or to any teenage girl on the internet. But
Yeah.
Drizzy, Drake, you are not a real gamer. But if you know of any real gamers, like Post Malone, that guy games hard, and I respect him for that. So if you know of anyone's, Ben Stiller will do any movie. Okay, now to get Henry fucking Cavill, yeah, confirmed gamer. That's another great example. If you know of
We're
any,
already on Henry Cavill for his Witcher connection.
yeah. But let us know of other celebrity gamers so we can reach out to them. Somebody points out Tom Cruise's Scout for Deep Rock Galactic. That's a perfect cast. I would
Do you want to
love
work
it.
with Tom Cruise though? That seems kind of scary.
Well, he'll kill himself
And
for us.
he's
so
short,
fine.
right?
He is.
Famously short. I mean,
He's a little guy. He's not afraid of
talk
danger.
about being typecasted.
Tom, we need you. We won't ask you about your personal beliefs. We don't want to hear about them. We won't make you wear tall shoes. We want you just as you are, but we need your help.
Don't have.
It's very strange that there's no movement on this Fey mood. Typically, there's
Yeah, I mean,
something.
she moved earlier, right? And then there was a cat, and then that's it.
Yeah, I've been talking shit about celebrities forever. What's going on in the game?
Not much.
Cool. All right.
You
back to
got a
celebrities.
migrant wave there with the stick and sack thing. What's that called? The stick and sack?
You got a microwave?
Oh, migrant wave.
Oh, this one.
Someone call Fox News.
The Wolverine is fighting. What? Wolverine is
Hugh
trouble
Jackman?
breathing. Oh, there was a battle.
I think we lost it. Spending too
Did
much
someone
time.
die?
No, just maybe. I think it was hunted. Yeah, it was hunted by. Yeah. Let's see.
Amazing.
The flying bronze bolt strikes the Wolverine in the upper body, tearing the muscles, shattering the left true ribs, and tearing the right lung.
See, that's where the individual body parts are coming into play.
Yeah, holy shit, we got VATS out the wazoo here.
It torn a tendon. Maybe we have a dead Wolverine. Is there a way I can like find like certain objects with tags or something?
You can do it through the unit menu again, that bottom left door face. Which, yeah, you. So you can do dead, missing, or others, perhaps, or pets, not pets, livestock. Yeah, others.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, he's over there.
Injured. Didn't feel anything while in conflict. Felt hopeless after suffering a major injury. Let's see, health. No health. No
also
health
relatable.
What? All right. Oh, she has a personality too.
Oh yes.
Her left true ribs is mangled. Upper body's cut open. Her right eye. This is
Oh.
animal abuse.
Good heavens.
That's kids watching.
Yeah, it's dying for sure.
But we can relate because she also gets annoyed when caught in the rain.
I just want to pop back to another good contribution on the casting for the Deep Rock movie. Somebody suggests Charlie Day as Bosco the robot. Perfect. Exactly that.
Oh, yeah, Charlie Day.
I feel like Charlie Day games.
I think so. There's a video that says Chris Pratt and Charlie Day debate the best video game ever. So they must. They must know.
I know Charlie Day is correct on that.
What is their answer is the question. The video does not work anymore. It is a Facebook video that was taken down.
Sounds like a GQ thing.
Yeah.
You know what I bet Charlie Day plays is that one Marble Run. Super Marble Ball.
Oh. Is that even like available in a modern sense?
I think there's probably a zip file in some corner. Gyrocopter. They had like a really deep voice announcing all the marble upgrades for it.
Charlie Day wants to star in an iconic video game adaptation a year ago.
We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Wasn't he in the Mary movie?
Yes, but this is he was not satisfied with that, he said.
Oh,
Charlie Day was in the Mario movie.
there's Luigi.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. No wonder. Okay, of course GQ had him debating the whatever. Punk Guitar Z66 says apparently Daniel Craig loves playing Halo. That is huge if true.
Oh, I would die to work with Daniel Craig. He is like amazing.
Daniel Craig playing Halo is super funny to me.
It is super toxic.
It's the meanest possible.
or just extremely wholesome.
I bet he just doesn't use voice chat.
Oh, we got Mike Herring over in YouTube sharing some kind words. Mike says, just to join to say that Deep Rock is the best game I've ever played, and I can't thank you devs enough for it. Aw, Mike, thank you for your kind words. I'm glad you tuned in to share that you're, enjoying Deep Rock. And you know what, Mike? I got something to tell you, so I hope you're listening. If you like Deep Rock Galactic, whether you know it or not, you found your way into Dwarven culture. You're part dwarf. You're dwarf pilled. You're short maxing. And you are just the sort of warrior we need in 2024 when Ghost Ship Games and Kitfox Games join forces to kick off Dwarves United. That's absolutely right. Dwarves United. It's going to be our campaign to constantly pester Steam on the internet until they agree to implement dwarf tags on Steam. So you can sort by games that are about dwarves, because it's been too dang long since dwarves got their piece of the pie, and we need your help making it happen. So if you live in Seattle near the Valve headquarters, just kidding. If you see Sam Rockwell in a grocery store, just kidding. If you want to tweet at a developer and say, hey guys, what about dwarf tags? We're dwarves. Give us your help. Dwarves United. We are all gripping the mighty pickaxe in the sky, and we are riding that shit to Jericho, and we are not stopping until we've got dwarves on Steam.
Oh no, the Wolverine is in a fight with your Fisher Dwarf.
Yeah, but
he's just punching him.
I'm Team Wolverine.
Punching him. Yes. Just see here. Fine. Okay.
I think he won. Oh, I see the Wolverine. It ran off again.
Oh, it's down here. Like cowardly Wolverine. Check the health. Abilities to stand lost. That's
oh. There it goes.
Yeah.
The dwarf is chasing him.
Yeah, the hunter is coming. He's even like shooting real arrows. I'm not giving that Wolverine. Maybe I should see the camera.
This is an incredible battle. Some people are gathering, but they're gonna
be seeing.
They're gonna see it for sure, and that actually does affect them. If the dwarf is in proximity to something horrible happening, it will be affected by that.
In what way?
It depends on what it is. Like if they see like a dwarf die or something like that, it'll become very depressed.
Oh.
And like emotionally scarred because they watched a death.
That Fisher Dwarf really, like, the Fisher Dwarf grabbed the Wolverine by the fourth left front toe with his right upper arm. Then the Fisher Dwarf punches the Wolverine in the left rear paw with his left hand, and the injured part explodes into gore.
Oh my goodness.
Fisher Dwarf releases the grip of the Fisher Dwarf right upper arm from the Wolverine's fourth left front toe. Very, very detailed. But what happened to the Wolverine? Oh, I think it escaped.
It might have walked off the screen, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably retreated.
I get why.
Dwarfs 1, Wolverine 0.
The level of detail in the combat system is phenomenal. I'm really impressed with this.
It's really incredible when you start getting those big battles and just like the injuries come flying on the screen and there's just like blood everywhere.
You're like just reading it like a World War I field medic of all the injuries you have to deal with.
I like that little squirrel that's dead there by your stairs.
Yeah. It's coated with water.
Oh.
Because why not?
It's been sitting out in the rain.
Who left the
Somebody
dead
get
squirrels out in the rain?
somebody get that damn squirrel inside.
You could take it if you wanted to, but you're not going to really get much out of it, I don't think.
Yeah, what am I gonna do with it? Oh, it's actually. Oh, it is actually.
The Registrum over in Twitch asks a good thoughtful crossover question, which is I wonder how the Deep Rock Galactic how the Dwarf Fortress doors would handle a day working at DRG. I mean, I feel like honestly the working dwarves life is fairly similar in both. You're in a cave, you're scared, you're fighting for your life. I don't know. I think I choose to believe that they would fare quite well.
They are, I would say, like, it would be interesting to see a rebellious dwarf because they may not listen to instructions.
Ah, okay.
Oh, something's happening here. She screams, I must have tanned hides. I must have metal.
Oh, tanned hides!
I do not have any tanned
and
hides.
metal bars. So let's see if we can make the tannery and get that moving. We could tan that little squirrel
Oh,
outside.
let's tan the squirrel.
And that in high, bro.
Okay. Leather works, right?
Yeah.
That must be it. Ooh.
Oh, someone? Are they all busy fighting the Wolverine? This is the issue. When you want to get something done, it's not always an instant thing.
That's why a good dwarf is patient.
I'm also very impressed that no one is like
Worms.
super upset in your fort. You have a few like grumbles and things like that, but other than that, no one's.
I think I ran out of stuff to drink, but oh, okay, I haven't turn everything.
Great
The
call.
Dwarven women do have beards. The sprites do not display them with beards, but they do
It's lore
in
accurate.
spirit.
And sometimes, as that one character that I always forget from Dexter's Laboratory reminds us, it's not the
Mandark.
beard. Yeah, it's not the beard on the outside that counts. It's the beard on the inside.
No, I don't think Mandark said that.
Oh, okay.
That's the evil menace guy with the bowl cut.
Oh no, this was a friend of Dexter's, but I was never like a huge Dexter head, so I don't know exactly. But it was like I think he was sort of like a Mr. T reminiscent, it's like this cool buff black dude who's like an action hero kind of guy.
Oh.
Taught Dexter I think he was just like a character for one episode. But he had this moment where Dexter was like, "But why can't I grow a beard?" And he was like, "Dexter, it's not the beard on the outside that counts. It's the beard on the inside."
Oh, I remember, right? Because he had the little like string on his chin. And he was like, "I want more."
Wait, this doesn't make leather. I think it only it makes stuff from leather.
Oh shoot.
Amanda, when you play, pardon me, not Amanda, Alexandra, when you are playing
Tanner.
Dwarf Fortress, is there like how do you choose like a stopping point? Because in Deep Rock Galactic, it's like, all right, between each mission, it's like, okay, time to take a break. Do you just choose do you go till you die? Do you go until you run out, or what's the?
Usually it's just when you're ready to stop because there's
Okay.
always something to do, and that's kind of like why it gets addicting for some people is because like there's really no natural place to stop. You just kind of have to say like I'm done playing because like like a lot of people don't like to stop when there's like like a lot of things in production, for example. Maybe they'll wait till everything's built or whatever, but it's really hard to stop playing this game for sure,
Yeah.
especially if you're in the middle of it all.
I kind of had that I was sick earlier this week and was just an absolute fiend playing Dave the Diver. And that's another, like, I guess there's a day and night cycle, but that's another game where there's like, it's so easy for me to just blast past the like natural stopping point. Oh man, good game.
Have not played it yet. Heard nothing but great things though.
The only thing they're missing is dwarves.
Yeah, lack of dwarves. But again, the underwater situation makes me wonder.
This is true.
Would they do it at all?
There's not a natural place to put in dwarves in Dave the Diver, so I'll give them that. They get a pass for now.
Can I set up a think so something?
I don't know if that's a
Maybe
thing,
I mean I have a
actually.
lot of livestock. Maybe I could just not, but
You could kill the like water buffalo, for example. And there's
yes.
that butcher button there. Yeah, ready for slaughter.
It's,
And now you can watch it unfolds. No one will be scarred by this, but maybe we will. I don't know.
it's also
It's these
starving, so
graphics.
it's the humane thing to do.
It's the human. Oh yeah, this taking it out. Yep, there it is.
Okay, so now I can go and I can.
Tannahide requires unrotten tannable body parts. So you should have those materials in your butcher. Unless we
Oh
did
yeah,
not
water
get any hide.
buffalo fat. I have a lung. I have a heart. I have intestines, liver. Right, sweet. Cow hair. Cow skin.
It's cow
It's
skin.
It's tagged for a task. What task is that?
Cool Guy videos over on YouTube. Sorry, there's my mic closer to my mouth. Cool Guy videos over on YouTube pings us and says, at Ghost Ship Games, y'all are Danish, right? Yeah, that's correct. We are based in Copenhagen, Denmark. And in fact, if anyone's tuning in and they are in Copenhagen or locals, Ghost Ship Games is going to be displaying at Game Week, or is it Game Week or Gamer Week? But the big
Gaming Week, Copenhagen Gaming Week.
Gaming ing. Gaming Week is the big gamer and cosplay expo down at Bella Center in Copenhagen. So if you are tuning in and you are living in Copenhagen or in the area, Ghost Ship Games is going to be there. I'm going to be there. Mark's going to be there. We're going to be showing off a demo of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, our new roguelite. So if you want to pull up and say hello and come give this game a spin, we'll be there. So pull up on us. I get that this isn't a global invitation because you have to be in Copenhagen, Denmark. But if you are, we'll be there. Sheeny says, cheers to GST from Brazil. What up, Sheeny? Shout out right back to you. I get that it may be difficult for you to join us this weekend, but rock and stone all the same to you. And remember, dwarves together stand taller.
I would love to go to Denmark sometime. Never been.
Can recommend. It's a good place. Have you ever been to Europe?
Yeah. I was just in Germany for Gamescom actually. So that was my second Gamescom.
Oh, nice. I've been very. Jakob, do we usually go to Gamescom? We sent somebody there, right?
For the business thing, yes. I think maybe we've had a stand in the business stand area. Unsure.
Lovely place, giant convention, like the biggest convention I think in the world is Gamescom.
No way.
I think so. Well, at least for gaming, at the very least, it even beats out like Tokyo Game Show.
I'm gonna go ahead and Google DwarfCon. See what we got there.
Yeah, what's going on?
DwarfCon. First result is actually from the Dwarf Fortress subreddit. It says, about time we get a DwarfCon. Second result is Dwarf Wrestling, all about midget mayhem. Third result is Little People of America. Okay, we're getting off onto the wrong directions here. All of these are worthwhile, but
love the people, but not what we're talking about.
No, but maybe they'll help us get this tag. No, I think that would be sort of the wrong. That'd be bad optics. Yep. All right, cancel that one.
We have been doing a few Dwarven gatherings associated with the conventions we're at. So like we did one at Gamescom and one at in Boston for PAX East, and we call it the Fey Mood Society because it's our time to be creative and get in our gatherings, and that's all that was the reasoning.
That'll work.
We've got the llama passed away. I wonder what happened there. Maybe he died of starvation.
Your llama died?
I'm not feeding my animals, apparently. I'm just focusing
Oh, dude, you got to do that.
Yeah.
We can pasteurize them outside so that they can graze. The camel and the...
I think I did that, but maybe I actually didn't assign any animals. That will be...
Yeah, you do have to assign the animals.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have this very luxurious...
pen there, the pasture.
Oh, yeah,
and then
right.
There you go.
Rabbit, I think.
does pasteurized mean to put in a pasture? Like, can it also mean that?
Yes,
Wow, I always thought it was just the process of like milk
the milk.
processing.
So
Pa-
Dwarf Fortress is not just like fun; it's also educational.
You would be
Every
surprised how many people have learned about rocks and stone through the various means of Dwarf Fortress.
You know what I say, Jacob? Every day's a school day.
Oh,
a couple, an earring. She offers it to the Mighty Gates.
the Mighty Gates. Is that our community or a different community?
I don't think it's us. I think she's giving it away.
What?
So,
You could go to objects, or yeah. I shall name you Floodbreakers, she says.
all right.
There it
Treasure
is.
of the Mighty Gates. A combo earring.
It's menaced with spikes with the water buffalo tan hide.
Just in.
It should
Alright.
be in the workshop. Yeah.
Oh, there. Oh, Luther Cup.
Jakob, I'm also looking at the clock now, and it's getting to be about quitting time over on.
But we're just getting started.
That's the thing about Dwarf Fortress is that in Dwarf Fortress time, 2.5 hours of human time is but a grain of sand in the great big hourglass of Dwarf Fortress.
Let's also take like just a second of silence for this dead stray alpaca.
Yeah.
Aww.
And the chalk, it's out its final resting place.
Can I get an F in the chat, please, for Jacob's poor, dearly departed alpaca?
Community alpaca.
For our alpaca. Now that we're Dwarves United,
There's no I in dwarf.
there is no I
That's
in Dwarf
right.
Fortress, unless you spell fortress like a child would. Which you could.
This child definitely would.
And there is a dwarf pondering the squirrel as well.
As you do.
No, I love just the yellow highlight. No job at the top.
She says, "I feel so good."
What?
She's still uneasy after the lack of decent meals. She's worried. We have 300.
She was drunk. She feels euphoric due to inebriation.
She also has 2 lovers. I think she's doing.
Yeah, she's good. She's got a job. She's being polyamorous. Congratulations.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe we should call it for today. I think
Yeah,
this is
we got a lot
been
done.
very educational. I can't wait until I hit something down here. It's dangerous.
Well, we'll pick up a Dwarf Fortress stream another day, and hopefully also have our Kitfox pals over to so we can host them in Deep Rock Galactic. But for everyone, whether you've just catching the tail end of this stream, this has been a little collaborative stream here on Thursday between Ghost Ship Games and our pals over at Kitfox Games. This has been Alexandra, the community manager at Kitfox, joining us today to kick off what I've said many times, and we'll say once again because it's important, is going to be the premier issue in 2024, which is recognizing the achievements, the contributions, and the might of dwarves in the world, in fiction, in gaming. And that is, in fact, the Dwarves United campaign, which we are so proud to kick off to get Steam, the gaming platform, to acknowledge dwarves with a dwarf tag. So if you're watching this stream, if you like Deep Rock Galactic, if you like Dwarf Fortress, if you like beavers, if you feel ambivalent about gnomes, if you've had a good time, then this is your fight too. We need your hands gripping the pickaxe, swinging, huffing, and puffing, telling everyone you know about the profound injustice that Steam has not yet recognized dwarves with the tag on Steam. So follow along Ghost Ship Games as well as Kitfox on Twitter, on Reddit, on Discord. Stay tuned because we will be posting much more about this, much more, in the weeks and months to come. Alexandra, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any final thoughts on the grand undertaking that we're putting on our squat, sturdy shoulders?
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you, chat, for engaging in a game that you may not be familiar with, a new game, and letting me tell you all about it. But I think now that we've had this cultural exchange, that we're more than ready to tackle the bigger issues, which is that of Steam and the tagging issues that's going on over there. And I think now that we've done this, we are only stronger.
Dwarves together stand taller, they swing stronger, they dig deeper. And in 2024, we're digging deep, and we're digging straight under the foundation of the Valve headquarters in Seattle, Washington, and we're saying, hey guys, the dwarf tag, where is it? Enough is enough. We need that
Enough
tag.
is enough. Indeed.
So a big, huge rock and stone to all you proud dwarves out in the chat. We'll talk to you soon. We'll be streaming tomorrow. We'll be streaming next week or the week after that. And we hope you'll join us in this campaign. And rock and stone to all you in the free world. And thanks for tuning in, folks.
And we're setting up a raid, and this time we'll actually be raiding someone who I think they're about to.
Oh, fabulous.
Hell yeah. So we're about to do a Steam. We always, if you're new here, we always end our streams with rating somebody else's Twitch stream. And when we all get into this person's Twitch stream, I would absolutely jump for joy if I could see some hashtag Dwarves United hashtags going on in the chat. And if you can say 2024 still no dwarf tag on Steam, ? Because we need to ask those big hard-hitting questions that make the biggest difference to the littlest people. Are we ready for a raid?
We are ready.
I'm ready.
Alrighty. Riggedy, riggedy, rock and stone for one last good time to all you sweet dwarves, gamers, and beautiful pals. We'll catch you soon. Remember, Dwarves United, stand taller.
Rock and stone.
Rock and stone.
Rock and stone.
Are we rated?